Okay, we'll start off today back in the truss packet. Going over questions 57 here first. Number 57, I did not give you the slope. We're looking for that up here, labeled P, which makes it a lot more difficult. So what we have to do is we have to look at what we have here with the common rafter length of 23 feet 5 3/16 inches. We cannot work with it in that form. We're going to have to convert that to decimal first. Now we start with the fraction and we work our way backwards. So we start with the smallest part of the number and work our way backwards to convert that. So 3/16, we just do 3 divided by 16 to give us a decimal of 0.1875. Now we're going to add the 5 inches to that. What this is saying is that 5 3/16 inches is really 5.1875 inches. And now we have to turn it into decimal feet by divided by 12. So 0.43229 or 0.4323 we're going to call that. So this is 23.4323 feet is that common rafter length. Now we need to make a triangle, but that common rafter goes all the way down to here, so we can't just use half of the span. We have to go all the way out to there. That'll be 16 feet here plus 2 feet of overhang. So that's actually going to be a full 18 feet right there. And now this isn't H that we're going to find here. This is going to be A or whatever letter you want to call it. What that's telling us is 23.4323 squared equals A squared plus 18 squared. So to find A, I'm going to square those, subtract, and then square root. I'm going to take a shortcut and do that all at once here. So it'll be the square root of 23.4323 squared minus 18 squared equals 15.0024. In other words, A is 15 feet. Yep, you got to square them, subtract, and square root. You square this, you subtract the 18 squared is actually 324. So you're going to subtract 324. Then whatever you get once you subtract, you're going to square root that to get A. Just using the Pythagorean theorem backwards. Now that we know that A is 15, H is actually, the heel height here is plus 12. But notice we're not down to the bottom of the heel. We're not at the top of the heel. We're down here at the overhang. So you got to be careful with that. We can find P because P over 12 is going to equal A is 15 over 18. The rise and run at least are valid for that triangle. We just don't know where the bottom of that triangle really is as far as the inside of the truss. So 12 times 15 divided by 18 gives us that P is 10. So this is a 10-12 slope. Now that we have it's a 10-12 slope, now we can look at finding the height. Now we're going to come back to this triangle right here. This triangle has a run of 16, half of the span. So the height of that triangle, we'll use the 10-12, equals, it's not going to be H, I'm going to call it B for now, over 16. So 10 times 16 is 160, divided by 12 gives us 13.44, or 13 foot 4, 13.33, which is 13 foot 4 inches. And of course, we have to add that 12-inch heel to it, so that becomes 14 foot 4 inches for H. Does that make more sense? Okay. Did you want to go through 59, or are you good with 59? Actually, you should try 59 because it's similar. Yeah. I think since I saw that one, you should try that on your own, since that one also gives you the common rafter length and wants you to work backwards. Okay, anything on the adit trusses there, or the dual slope trusses you need me to go over? Yeah, 72. 72, okay. Or wait, we didn't do 72 yet. I thought we did. No. Let's give you the. I got one. Let's give you the answers for 67 through 71. For number 67, P1 is 3. P2 is 9. J1 is 37 feet, 1 5/16 inches. J2 is 15 feet, and X is 36 feet. I'm going to pause the recording. Today I want to take a look at the porch trusses, and then I want to kind of finish off some other things on this packet, so we can kind of wrap it up a little bit. I want to finish off pretty much everything today except for 80 through 82. 80 through 82 I want to work on tomorrow. Those are called fascia matches. That's a big thing for doing rafters and stuff like that. So anyway, let's talk about porch style trusses. A porch style truss is for a house where you're going to have some sort of a front porch on it, and they just build it right into the truss like that. So you have a little bit of a lower slope out there. In fact, usually the peak is directly between the two main walls. So it'll look more like this. You go to that lower slope so you can suspend out over the porch like that. What we're going to look at today let's say that we have a main roof here that is an 8/12 slope. A porch that is a 3/12 slope. Let's see. I'm going to pause for a second. Okay, let's give this a shot. So in this one, we want to find the height, we want to find X, and we want to find the span. We'll give this kind of an easy one. So what we have here, of course, this part's going to be 8/12 as well. We can find the height rather quickly here by using the 8/12 equals H over 18. H ends up being how much? 8 times 18 divided by 12 is going to be 412. H is 12. No. So then, we can cut this part up here into two triangles like this. Cut it into right triangles. I'll call this A and this part here B. I know that, I don't know why I wrote A there, I said B. I know that A plus B equals H, right? So A plus B equals 12. I know that 8 over 12 is equal to, and I'm going to have to label this here as Y. That 8 over 12 equals B over Y. I may need to give you one more number here. So that means 8Y equals 12B. I know, yeah, I need to give you one more number. I'm going to give you that X here is 24. How's that? 24 feet. Yep. So 8Y equals 12B. For A, we have, now we just have to find the span and Y. We also know then that 312 equals A over 24. So that 12A equals 72 when we cross multiply. You guys are okay with me taking the shortcuts and just cutting to the formula instead of cross multiplying and write it all out? Yeah. You good with that? 12 times A, 3 times 74. So that means A equals how much? 6. Once we know, well, 12A equals 72, so you divide by 12, A equals 6. Once you know A equals 6, you know that A plus B equals 12. So if A is 6, B must be 6. B equals 6. And then here, 8Y equals 12B, so 8 times Y equals 12 times 6, so 8Y equals 72, divided by 8, Y equals 9. So that means if Y is 9, you have 18 plus 9 is 27, plus 24 is 51 feet. S is 51. What do you think? Scroll down? Sure. I'm thinking you guys can handle these.
It's easier than a
Yeah, it is. The other thing I want you guys to work on. So part of your homework is going to be in the packet to do 72 through 78. You should be able to handle those now. Number 79, for anybody who wants to try it, is worth 20 points extra credit. But here's the catch. You do have to have every piece of it correct to get the extra credit.
You get like 5 points for trying?
No. You have to have all 7 pieces of it correct to get the extra credit. Oh, it's a blast. So next we're going to look at problems like 83 and 84. These are hip end problems. 83 and 84. This thing's falling apart on me. Anyway, the picture is a little hard to interpret, so I'm going to pull up my model here. What it is it's a hip end. I'm going to try not to shoot underneath there because this is a Barbie car box. This is the hip end. So what we're looking at is dimensions on that hip end. Like you can see in number 83 there, Z is just that length up here, the length of the longest jack on the end. J is just the length of the common rafter on the main roof. R is the length up the ridge. M is just this length here, 12 feet in. You can use that since you know that this half span is a 30-foot span, so this is 15 feet. So you can figure out what that length would be at 12 feet by using the similar triangles. Okay? These are things you already should know. You should be able to get these just from what we did on the hip rows from before. So I'm not going to go over these. I'm just going to give you guys time to work on them. So you should be able to do 83 and 84. We're going to skip number 85. So with these, numbers 83 and 84 as well. I want you to have done for tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll talk about 80 through 82 there, the fascia matches. And then we're going to wrap up this packet and come close to wrapping up this unit real soon. Sometime next week we'll wrap up this unit.